Ready to go?
At Metro Transit, we are. With more routes to more places, easy ways to pay, and more convenient options, we're ready to go further. Go easier. Go faster. Go, go, go.
And go.
We're ready to go. Are you?
Want your boss to put some real action behind the rhetoric when they talk about making your workplace more inclusive? Find out how to hold their feet to the fire and demand diversity on the Diversity Dude podcast.
Hello there, and welcome back to the Diversity Dude podcast. I'm your host, Lambert Fisher, marriage and family therapist, award-winning author, and national speaker on the topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. And for those of you who are interested in even more positive and encouraging tips and strategies beyond what I share in podcasts like this, then feel free to check out my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice. Nationally recognized for the unique way in which it addresses the often difficult topic of multicultural awareness and diversity. Designed for more than just therapists, if you're a helping professional in any way, diversity in clinical practice can help you meet the greatest variety of cultural needs possible for those whom you serve. And it's available in paper and audiobook versions for your convenience. And if you haven't heard it yet, I invite you to visit TED.com and check out my talk called What to Do When You Offend Someone, where I offer a positive and practical perspective on how to navigate unintentional offenses in daily life. To date, it's been viewed over 500,000 times. Check it out for yourself. And if you're encouraged by it as well, share it with a friend. And whether it be through my one-on-one relationship building efforts as a therapist or my informing and empowering efforts as an author and speaker, know that my personal mission is to do my part to improve the world one strengthened relationship at a time. So, today I want to share with you an encouraging perspective on conflicted national appreciation. The 4th of July, America's Independence Day, is the time when we celebrate the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776, formally separating us from British rule. Whether you choose to merely picnic, barbecue, and watch fireworks, or intentionally think about what might have been in contrast to the way things are today, the 4th of July is an invitation for everyone in this country to join together in appreciation, positive appreciation, for what we have. And yet, there are many who don't automatically feel that sense of appreciation. After all, we recently celebrated Juneteenth, which, among other things, serves as a reminder that America's independence from British rule and the Declaration of Independence's notable value for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness didn't automatically apply to every American immediately. Juneteenth spotlights the reality that many even tried to keep people enslaved as long as they could, despite celebrating their own freedom. And while the country has changed a lot since then, many still don't feel as though everyone has all of the same freedoms on a day to day basis. So the question then comes, what should we do with this inner conflict between efforts to appreciate what the country is while also acknowledging what it still is not? Well, since it would be presumptuous of me to assume that there's a quick and easy answer to this long standing dilemma, I want to instead offer a few considerations that may be able to help you as you explore how to develop a healthy perspective personally, while also supporting those around you in their efforts to find a healthy perspective of their own. Consideration number one, it's okay to appreciate our country for what it is. Despite what many may be expecting me to say on a topic like this, I'm not here to bash our country in any way. Nor am I here to claim that nothing has changed and that it's just the same as it's always been. That's definitively not true. As a matter of fact, I'll admit that I'm not automatically a naturally patriotic person, nor was I ever taught to be in a certain way. And yet, when I had the chance to travel overseas in my formative years, I realized that while it was nice to see what things were like in other parts of the world and learn different languages and customs, appreciate the variety of landscapes and explore different ways of living, I still always appreciated home. Beyond rooting for the United States of America during the Olympics, there was a growing appreciation for the opportunities afforded to me living in this country that are not universally available elsewhere. Now, don't get me wrong, there are certainly things to appreciate about other countries, and I definitely encourage travel if possible and if safe. For in learning and gaining an appreciation for a variety of ways of being, you can also gain an appreciation for what you already have. I've since gained an ever growing appreciation for those who take on the difficult task of helping this country be the best that it can be, little by little over time, which is essentially consideration number two. Acknowledging this country's growth areas doesn't make you ungrateful. Many, unfortunately, have difficulty listening to people express concern about the ways in which this country is run, not just from the highest forms of government, but from every leadership role and institutional structure from top to bottom. As great as this country has the potential to be, it is run by imperfect humans, as all are, and benefits from honest, constructive refinement. We need to be able to safely express areas of improvements if there's ever going to be a healthy and productive conversation, brainstorming ways to work together to implement necessary change. Consider the aforementioned assertion of the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Ask yourself, does everyone feel the same freedom to appreciate life with their basic needs being met on a regular basis, confident in their reasonable survival and safety on a day to day basis? Acknowledging the variety of factors that contribute to factors such as this, what can you do to help change the reality of those who don't feel that they have this privilege? Ask yourself, does everyone feel the same freedom to appreciate liberty? With the freedom to think, speak, and act according to how they really feel and what they really believe, assuming it doesn't impinge on someone else's right to do their own thinking, feeling, and doing, and the safety to do the same without retribution or being labeled as unpatriotic for not being the same as everyone else? And ask yourself, does everyone feel the same freedom to pursue happiness without unwarranted restraints and limitations put on them by people who deem them unworthy of certain forms of happiness, despite having the same qualifications and abilities and having the same willingness to put forth the effort to earn and maintain that happiness? This country can be and is great in many ways, and yet not everyone's experiences support its greatness. You don't have to ignore your positive experiences in order to acknowledge the less than positive experiences of those who don't have the same privileges and opportunities. To illustrate this point, I'm reminded of many of the couples who I support as a marriage and family therapist. In helping them, my goal is not to determine whether it's a good or a bad marriage, nor is it to identify which spouse is the good spouse and which spouse is the bad spouse. Instead, the goal is often to identify the many ways in which it is good and the many ways in which, despite the good aspects worth appreciating, it can also benefit from improvement. Whether one partner asks, "What do you mean? Room for improvement? I thought you loved me." It's common for their partner to answer with, "I do love you and I appreciate you in many ways. And that's why I care enough to work together with you to help make it even better for the benefit of both of us." Which leads to consideration number three. We all need to work together to help America be the best it can be. The preamble to the United States Constitution expresses a goal of working together to become a more perfect union. The phrase more perfect conveys the founding fathers' acknowledgement that this will be an ongoing process rather than a once and for all accomplishment. This isn't to say that everything must change all the time, and the need to change doesn't convey that what existed before was secretly bad and needed to be caught. No, it simply is an acknowledgement that as the needs of the people change, the rules governing them must change as well. In light of this, our challenge is to continually identify what needs are being met and appreciate them, as well as what needs are not being met and work together to meet them. Will this be easy? No. Will it be worth it? Yes. As such, with all this in mind, my hope for you is that you would be able to see the legitimacy in both appreciating this country for what it is, while also acknowledging various opportunities for growth. Not as a contradiction to its benefits, nor as a deletion of all the progress that has occurred over many years, but as an opportunity to continually refine what is so that it stays that way. Refining what is great so that it stays great. Just like a marriage, relationships thrive when we are not afraid to see the strengths as well as the growth areas. And when we can learn to resist the temptation to blame or run and instead work together to make it the best it can be more and more over time. For the best question is not how long do we have to do this? Instead, the best question is how long do we get to keep finding ways to make the best even better? Not just for some, but for everyone. And with that, I'll say thanks again for listening today to the Diversity Do podcast. If you have any pressing diversity related questions that you'd like me to address on an upcoming podcast, or if your organization is in need of a shame free and empowering guest speaker or training on this often sensitive topic, then feel free to reach out to me directly at www.diversitymadesimple.com. If you know anyone else who can benefit from a positive and encouraging perspective on the often difficult topic of diversity, feel free to send them a link to this podcast so they can be encouraged as well, or share with them my award-winning book, Diversity in Clinical Practice, available at Amazon.com. And don't forget to visit TED.com and check out my talk on what to do when you offend someone. I hope it inspires you and that you share it with someone else so that they can be inspired as well. And as usual, I look forward to addressing as many topics as possible in future podcasts to help you improve as many relationships as possible at work, at home, and in your community. And as always, remember this: you don't need to know everything about everyone in order to have a positive impact on someone. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day.
Tune in each week and find out how to demand and implement diversity at your job. To hear more, check out previous Diversity Dude shows on ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com.
You know Shaletta makes you laugh, but did you know Shaletta Brundage can also make you think and boost your business? Media personality, activist, and comedian Shaletta Brundage founded Shaletta Makes Me Laugh to celebrate and share the best of Black culture. It's a podcasting platform. You can download 10 weekly podcasts hosted by African-American subject experts at ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com is also a production house, creating broadcast-quality commercial content. And Shaletta and her team of storytellers create powerful promotional campaigns to get businesses the brand awareness they're looking for. Some of Minnesota's top businesses trust Shaletta, and you can too. Get out the word about your events and products and get in front of communities of color with ShalettaMakesMeLaugh.com. She's got the power to help your business.
When I was introduced to Bremer, I really appreciated it. It was more of a relationship. The support that we have in project-based lending, it's emboldening us to go after larger projects. That is a game changer for a small business. The resources and the support from Bremer Bank is exciting that I could stay with them forever. Sometimes when you're working with bankers, they relish the fact of saying no. With Bremer, it's like they're finding a way to say yes.
What's up, everyone? It's Shaletta. I'm here getting a phone for one of my newly minted teenagers with Xfinity Mobile. They've got great options, affordable plans, and solid coverage that works for our whole family. With Xfinity Mobile, my daughter can stay connected with me wherever she goes. And did you know when you sign up, you can get an extra phone line free for a full year? Switch to Xfinity Mobile today for more savings, more smiles, and more ways to stay connected.